Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Success Life Live. My name is G Reid, and it's 8 a.m., and so it must be time for Success Life Live. I'm glad you jumped in to join me for today's Success Life Live. We gather here each and every weekday morning because what I know is that if we get this thing right, that mindset right, that thinking right, start to program in the right direction, we build a life of success. We attract the success that we seek, both in people and product and opportunities. So by taking time out of your busy morning and jumping here for Success Life Live, I know that like me, you're designing your life intentionally. You're taking action. You're leaning into it. You're making it happen because you want it to happen. And that's what Success Life is all about. It's not that far off someday super award. It's living each and every day consistently in each and every area of our life, our family, our fitness, our finance, our faith, and our profession at the highest and best level that we have available that day. We intentionally grow each and every day through programs like Success Life Live, the books we read, and the things we do. So welcome everybody. Take a moment, say good morning, say hello, say where you're from. Good morning, Josh. Good morning. A couple other people scanned on by and I didn't get a chance to see you, so take a moment and say hi. I'm going to set this over here because I was like looking around without looking around, trying to find the place to set it down. Want to let you know tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. I know we're doing an evening show now. On Wednesdays is Author Talk, and we're going to be talking about Larry's book. Your Life Matters: How to get out of the life you don't want and into the life you do want. It's a really good read. I enjoyed reading it. It was a lot of fun because not only do I get a chance to meet Larry and talk to Larry through his book and now through Author Talk tomorrow night at 7 p.m., but it also helped me realize that so often we talk about the life that we're currently living and we complain and moan and bitch and like, this isn't who I want to be, this isn't what I want. And Larry said, you know what? I'm going to write a book. And I'm going to tell you how to get out of the life that you have and into the life you want. And so I love the fact of that, driving to the office this morning. Good morning, Josh. Oh, off to the Florida morning. We might actually get snow this weekend here in Georgia. I'm kind of doubting it, but just means there's going to be a rush on bread and milk. I never understand that. It's like, who wants bread and milk in a blizzard? What are you going to make? French toast for 4 days? Get me chocolate, ice cream, liquor, and other things. So, welcome again, everybody, to Success Life Live. My name is G Reid. I'm your coach, and I'm glad that you joined me for this Uber edition of Success Life Live. So, when I said the Uber edition, it's funny because Uber has now become sort of like the go-to word. When anything is super big, great, grand, we always like Uber. It's such an Uber this and an Uber that. And Uber has become part of our conversation where 3-5 years ago, nobody would have even understood the term Uber or would have had a reference point for it. So here's what I love. I was sort of reading up on the Uber business model and the Uber thinking and the Uber mindset that created the company and the business and the billion dollar industry that it is. And Uber started with 2 questions. And they built their entire business model, their entire success, the entire $1 billion Uber business that it is, around 2 questions. And as I started to think about it, I thought, you know what? Those 2 questions apply to every single aspect of my life, every single aspect of my business, of my faith, of my finances, of my fitness. It is like the model for building the life of success, for building the life that you want. So I thought, okay, we got to figure out a way, Eric, to make this Uber business lesson into a Success Life Live. So that's what I'm going to bring you today. If you are ready, #Uber. Because why? I just need to say the word like 3 more times because it's such a fun word. So anyhow, Uber built its business around 2 things. The first question is, where are you? And the second question was, where do you need to go? I mean, think of it. When you open the Uber app, the first thing it says is, where are you? And then the second thing it says is, where do you want to go? And then it says, cool, we can get you here. This is going to be the cost. So when I meet with coaching clients, it's funny that we have this exact same conversation. That I'll say, okay, where are you in life? Where are you in your business? Where are you in your finance? Where are you in your fitness? Where are you in whatever it is you're working on? And they'll tell me, and often there's a lot of story and a lot of, but you got to understand, and this is where I was, and this is where I'm going, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay. And then the next question is, where do you want to go? And they'll tell me where they want to go. The piece that I sometimes forget, or maybe I don't do as well as Uber, is I forget to explain the cost. I forget to say, you know what, okay, yeah, I can take you from there to there, and here's what the cost is going to be, and display it right up front. And I think often when we're building our life, when we're creating change, when we're creating success, we'll say, this is where I'm at. Yeah, I'm right here. This is where I'm at with my finance, my fitness, my relationships, my whatever. I'm okay. This is where I'm at. And I need you, coach, mentor, fitness trainer, guidebook, journal writer, vision board, whatever it is we use as a vehicle. I need you to take me over there. The element that is often missing is the price. We often forget to hit the next button and say, this is what it's going to cost. And what I love about the Uber business model is when you look at it, it actually says you can get there at $24 or you can get there at like $26 if you want the luxury car. And it kind of gives you like two different pricing models. Like, here's the standard rate and then here's the premium rate. If you want to arrive, you can arrive. Or if you want to arrive, it's going to cost you this. And so often when we start a journey, when we begin to transform our lives, when we begin to make that change, we're really good with the here's where I'm at and here's where I want to go. The piece where we often fail is to evaluate the cost and make a commitment to that cost. Because once I hit that Uber button and say, yeah, I'm ready to go, get to buy that ride, get to take that trip. The thing is, did you know, and I know this from personal experience, if you cancel Uber, they still charge you. They charge you a cancellation, a reroute, a whatever they kind of call it fee. And yet often in our dreams, often in our pursuit, often in our seeking of success, we say, yeah, I'm starting here, and yeah, I want to go there, and yeah, I'm going to make that commitment, and yeah, I'm going to pay that price, and yeah, I'm going to get up at 5 a.m., or yeah, I'm going to go to the gym, or I'm going to quit eating this or doing that. And we make all of these commitments to it, and then we bail. And there's nobody in our circle that's willing to say, I'm sorry, Dr. Kelly, I'm okay with you bailing on the trip, but you still owe me something. You still owe me a little cash in the game because you said you were going to do this. And just because you don't feel like it today doesn't mean you get a free ride. No, there's a price. And so I love the Uber business model in the sense of where are you at? Where do you want to go? Here's the price you're going to pay. And by the way, if you bail, it's still going to cost you a little bit of something. Don't you love that? Isn't that just like the coolest way to begin to think about your goals, your vision, your purpose, your passion? How to begin to Uber your life, Uber your goals, Uber your dreams, Uber your desire. It's like, okay, here's where I'm at. Here's what I'm going to go. Okay, this is the price I'm willing to pay for it. And by the way, I build in with my coaching clients, some of them like, okay, if you fail to follow through, what's the penalty? And they'll say, oh, well, I'll have to restart. I'm like, that's not a penalty. Like, are you going to be writing a check to your least favorite political candidate? Are you going to post publicly on Facebook, the walk of shame kind of thing? Are you going to go into your office and turn in your resignation because you failed? Like, what is going to be the pain for not following through? So I wanted to sort of give you a couple ideas of how to start Ubering things and living the Uber lifestyle and becoming your own business, so to speak. If you bail, it will still cost you. Yes, don't you love that, Joe? So I speak from experience because we were using Uber when I was in California last, and the driver was confused. I was confused. I couldn't figure out where we were supposed to meet the driver. It became a big confusion, and it was easier for me to just hit cancel in my thinking and then just schedule a new driver. Like, I get a restart. It's Monday. It's the first of the year. I get a restart kind of thinking. So I hit cancel, and they said, are you sure you want to cancel this? And I was like, well, yeah, why not? I mean, I can just get another one. It's like no big deal. I'll get a different driver who I can find with a different kind of car because I don't recognize what you're telling me. They're like, sure. But guess what? There's a $5, I think it was a $5, it might have been an $8 courtesy cancellation fee or driver inconvenience fee or something like that. And I was like, you mean? And then as I thought about it, I thought, you know what? He should be entitled to it. Just because I can't follow through doesn't mean they should be penalized. So I like their business model. But anyhow, we're going to go over 3 tips today. And then tomorrow I've got a couple others. But first thing is, following through on that, is you got to take responsibility. I so often hear during the beginning of a coaching call when I say where you're at and where do you want to go, they're like, well, I'm here and I want to go there, but I haven't been able to get there in the past because and it takes all my strength sometimes to get quiet because my husband, because my kids, because of the timing, because of my gender, because of my race, because of my social economic background, and they'll give me like all of these becauses. I'm like, we don't buy that. I ain't buying it. I ain't selling into it. I ain't gonna give you credit or honor for that. You just got to take responsibility. You have got to CFO your business, your life, and say, you know what? I'm responsible. The fact that I have not achieved my dreams, created the wealth, done what I want to do in my life, it's on me, folks. It's my problem. It's my fault. And once we begin to take that responsibility, then we begin to act as if we're responsible for it. We begin to make conscious decisions about what we do with our time, what we do with our money, who we hang out with, who we don't hang out with, who we follow on Facebook, who we don't follow on Facebook, what bigs, because you know what? At the end of the day, when we're at the end of the year and we're meeting with the CPA, so to speak, he's going to be like, who's responsible for the outcomes of this business? Who is responsible for the profit and loss? And I got to go like me, like it's me. I'm the only person involved in this. I am the chief executive officer, the dream creator, and all of the other visionaries. The second is, I loved when I looked at Uber that they never said, well, we're only going to do this in the inner city or, large cities, or we're only going to do this in places where population is or English is. They were like, look, we're just going to, no limit. If you want to start Uber and you want to be in city XYZ, we'll figure out a way to make it happen. They were limitless. I was amazed when I started seeing Uber appear in Uruguay, in Argentina, and other third world or smaller countries. They had this idea that there was no limit to how big Uber could be. And it was funny when they first started coming into the industry, we were like, oh, it's only going to work for airport traffics. And then, oh, it's only going to work for small commuters, or it's only going to work for travelers. Now Uber delivers packages, they deliver food. I'll call Uber and I'll say, hey, I don't need a ride, but this package, I need delivered across town. And they're like, no problem, we got it, just throw it in the front seat. They don't care who and what they transport. They just need to know where you're at and where you need it to go. I now see when you pull into McDonald's, they're like, Uber pickups here. I'm like, really? People call McDonald's or call Uber or work with this app and have McDonald's delivered to their office because they don't want to drive? They built a business model that didn't simply say, we're going to be in the transport. They're like, look, we got cars, we got wheels, we got people, we got time. Let's see how big. So the first one was no responsibility, or take responsibility. The second one is you got to start thinking no limits. I so often meet with people and they'll start to talk about their business. They'll start to talk about their dream. They'll start to talk about what they want to create. And I'm like, well, what about if? Or how about if? And I start to imagine the possibilities, which is one of my personal quotes, or, my mottos or mantras. And they're like, well, I hadn't thought of that. But then they'll start to put a limit. Well, I don't know if I can handle that. I don't know if I'm like, you don't have to handle it today. You don't have to be it today. You don't have to be the Uber of McDonald's today. But let's not close that door now. Let's just keep that door, that possibility, that limitless thinking open. Because here's what I know. If right now in your mind you're saying, well, I'd love to write a book and I hope I sell 100 copies. Somewhere in the universe, there has been a ceiling, a limit, a box built that says, when Eric's book is written, remember, we only have to deliver 100 things. 100 copies, 100 whatevers. But if I say, well, you know what I'd like to do is use this book to begin covering the world with my authorship. And then once I finish the world, I hope that they take it on the space shuttle and drop. Like, if I can think of how big it is, and keep on going and expanding and moving beyond my limited thinking, then the universe is like, well, we got to stay open because Aaron's got these huge visions, plans for his life, for his business, for his finance, for his family, for his faith. And it's unlimited thinking, so we have got to be on the side, be large and big. Good morning, Rose. I'm glad you're back. So acting with no limits, and I'm kind of looking down at the blog that goes with it. So ask yourself these questions. What does my perfect business look like? Not like the one that I'm going to be comfortable with, the one that I'm going to be proud of, the one that, will get me the award, the fame, the fortune. But what is the perfect business? Like if you woke up this morning and you had 4 people standing in front of you, and like Oprah, I mean, come on, she has a magazine and a gift line and this and that. She probably meets with 20 executives for each of her 20 businesses before coffee is poured. And then what would I be doing and where? Is it in this office, in the world, on my plane, on the space shuttle calling? I mean, where am I doing it? And then when you start to think, oh, I'm going to have an office in downtown. You're going to have one office, or you're going to have an office in every big downtown. Go ahead and dream and imagine the biggest. I love buying a lottery ticket. Now, I know the odds of me winning are 1 in 1 billion, trillion, quadrillion, whatever. But every time I put it in my hand, I'm like, $200 million. You know what I could do with this? And I start imagining, and I start daydreaming, and I start thinking limitless thoughts. Like, oh my gosh, with $200 million, I could buy a pair of shoes for every kid in foster care across the U.S. or something like that. Something really crazy comes into my mind. Why do I do that? Because when I train my mind to think how big, how limitless the possibilities are, when I'm sitting in my office and I'm working on a little itty bitty blog, I don't think of it as little bitty anymore. I think of it as available for the expansion and fulfillment of everything through that one thing. You've got to train your brain. You've got to develop the habit of thinking limitless, not limiting. We've all been programmed on limiting thinking. And the third piece that I sort of wanted to start today was be honest with where you are now. So again, back to the Uber analogy, the 2 questions they ask, where are you at and where you want to go? Now, I don't know if you've used the Uber app. If you haven't, I don't know where you've been living. But when you put in the Uber, like I'm here, it'll sort of like, wait a minute, I can't find you. That doesn't match up. The GPS and the coordinate and all the things you're doing aren't matching up. Clarify for me. Type in the physical address, type in the name of the restaurant, the hotel, the airport, whatever. It's kind of like if they can't squarely use the GPS, the satellites, and the coordinates to make sure they know exactly where you're at, they're going to sit there and say, gotta need you to redefine, clarify, and go deeper. Because I can't pick you up and move you to where you want to go if I'm not clear on where you're at. And so where that comes in effect for our dreams and our lives and building our business is we've got to sort of do that forensic file on ourselves. We've got to be willing to lock ourselves in the office, go off to a hotel room, climb on top of a mountain, whatever it needs to be. And we got to be willing to say, you know what? Truth is, I'm not 10 pounds overweight. I'm 13.5 pounds. Or my body, composition isn't chubby, it's fat. Get honest. And it's not that you have to get honest on Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest or LinkedIn and all the other social medias. But if you can get honest with you, and if you have a coach, get honest with them, then they'll be able to pick you up. You'll be able to this is exactly where I'm at. And this is where I want to go. And the cost will be more, the cost will be more accurate. But what happens, and I so love this, that I'll start a coaching call and we'll okay, so where you're at. And they'll tell me this is where they're at in their business, their faith, their finance, whatever area that we're working on, that we're busting through the belief systems, that we're creating the transformation. And we'll have 2 or 3 coaching calls. And as a coach and somebody who works very intuitively, I'll always have this something doesn't feel right. I know what they said, but I'm getting a different read. I'm getting a different perspective. I'm getting a different sense. And all of a sudden now they'll say something or I'll ask a question and then the truth becomes obvious. They'll suddenly break down and we get real and I'm like, oh my gosh, had I known this 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, had you been honest when I asked the question, we would have made so much more progress, so much more clarity, so much more directional, that we wouldn't have wasted this time. We wouldn't have wasted this energy, this effort. You wouldn't have been caught in the cycle of rinse and repeat and fail and grow and rinse and repeat. Often that happens. People will come to me and go, I've tried this before. And I'm like, I'm probably guessing, but I'm not allowed to speak because I got to, manage the situation. That in the past, you weren't honest at where you were at. So in your effort to go where you wanted to go, you started from the wrong place. And because you started from the wrong place, you wasted energy and time and motivation and all of the things that you had got derailed and detoured because you were at the wrong place to beginning the journey that you said you wanted to take. And so when I think of the Uber, I love this. I love this Uber thing. That where are you at and where do you want to go? Then I'll tell you what the cost is. And if you commit to it, then we'll get you there. And by the way, if you start to back out, I'm going to have to charge you a little something for backing out. So when you look at your list today, when you look at your to-do list or your goal sheet or whatever you work off today, I want you to sort of close the book and then say, okay, where am I at today? No, where am I honestly at today? And typically, I'll tell you, little insider, you got to ask it 3 times. Like, no, truth. Where am I at today with my faith, my finance, my family, my relationships, my fitness, my business? Where do I want to go? No. I need to get real clear on where I want to go. I don't want to become this. Like, I need clarity. Clarity. And that's a big part of coaching. Is so often somebody will say, well, I just want to da. And they give me some really cloudy, vague description. I'm like, I can't get you there. Like, if you want me just to drop you in the middle of downtown, I can't even calculate the cost of that because I don't have a starting point and an end point. So I don't know how I'm going to get you there, and I don't know what it's going to cost you to arrive. And by the way, you're probably going to end up getting there and then tell me that's not really where you wanted to go because as you got closer, you had more clarity. Sorry, felt like a cough was coming on. And there it is. And so you need to have that clarity and say, okay, where is it that I really want to go? And then ask yourself, what is it going to cost me today, this week, this month, this year? And am I willing to pay the penalty if I back out? Because if you're not willing to pay the penalty, then don't start. Don't hit the commit button. Don't hit the yes button. Don't hit the send me the driver button. All right? And just so you know, tomorrow we're going to kind of do a little bit more on this. I got a little bit more on this because I loved it. I just loved it. When I saw it and I thought about it, and the simplicity of Uber. And the simplicity of Uber is what makes it so amazing because it's $1 billion company that's built on 2 questions. Where are you at and where you want to go? They don't ask what color car you want. They don't ask what kind of driver you want. They don't ask any other questions. They just simply say, where are you at and where you want to go? And here's what it's going to cost you. Are you willing to pay? Great, let's go. What is it you want in your life? Where are you at right now? Where are you at right now? Oh, and remember to leave a tip with your driver. Yeah, that's an option. That's an option. It's not a requirement. It's actually an option, which I think is even more interesting in the business model. The whole tipping idea, it's like, no, you said you wanted here to here. This is the cost. Anything above and beyond that, that's up to you. But Uber, I'm making a commitment, as Uber says in Uber world, I'm making a commitment to arrive here, get you there. I'm going to do it in this, and we're going to, and I mean, when you look at it, just look at the business model, break it down and over, like they'll tell you cars around the corner, cars coming up to your front door, cars should be right in front of you. And then when you get in the car, you can see the entire journey mapped out. So where are you at right now in your family, your fitness, your finance, whatever area you're saying, this is not where I want to be, then where do you want to go? Do you know what the cost is going to be? And are you willing to commit to that cost? And if you say yes, then are you going to begin to act responsibly? Are you going to take responsibility for it? Are you going to begin to think sort of no limit thinking? And are you willing to be honest and clear every step of the way? Because if you're not, this thing isn't going to work out. The success life system is not going to work out for you. You're not going to achieve the dreams and desires you want. It starts with you. There is nothing that separates you from the life that you want except this thing and the habits that you use to achieve it. And so that's what I got for you this morning. That's what I know. I love the Uber business model. Don't you? I mean, thumbs up on the Uber business model. Start Ubering your life. Start Ubering your dreams. Start Ubering your success. Where are you at? Where you want to go? What's it going to cost you? Will you be willing to commit? And be aware that if you don't follow through, there's going to be a price. And you got to take responsibility for that as well. So I love having Joe back in the room. Tipping is for the experience. You know, the tipping part, I love when you get out of the car and Uber says, would you like to tip the driver? And you could almost say no. Like you could say no and nobody would know because the driver's already gone, head down the street. You know, it's not like this face-to-face moment where you have to tip them. I love Uber. I always tip. One, because I admire the small businessman that's trying to create and chunk out a business, create a life, follow a dream. I always honor that whenever I have the opportunity. And also because it was so simple and so easy and so convenient that the experience, the customer experience, you have to. You know, I honestly have to say I've never met a bad Uber driver. Now I'm sure there's a few experiences, but not my world. So appreciate you guys joining me for this morning's Success Life Live. Gonna finish up a little comments or a little bit more on the Uber business model for your life and your dreams. Don't forget Wednesday night, author talk at 7 p.m. Your Life Matters. How to get out of the life you don't want and live the life you do want. I got it right this time, Larry. Sorry. So we'll be meeting with Larry, the author, talking about the book, talking about his life experiences that created the book, and just getting some author insight. So author talk. And then Fun Friend Friday with our friend Pat will be this Friday at 8 a.m. as well. So until we get together tomorrow morning, if I can help you with any of your coaching needs or speaking needs, just reach out, tag me, Facebook, instant message, whatever you want to do. You can also check out, this vlog will be up and finished by today at noon. It's kind of already written, I just got to check it out. Thank you, Joe, for that. So this will be up on ericgreid.com/blog. And don't forget successu.com, which is the website for all the classroom stuff and some of the free courses that I offer and things like that. So my goal is to add to you, to teach you how to begin to live a life of success. So what is a life of success? It's not this up and down roller coaster, but a consistent, steady progress of being at your best every single day in every area that you want to be your best at. So until we get together tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, my name is Eric Reid. I'm your host, your coach, and hopefully your friend. Go out and live today with success. Bye-bye, everybody. Good morning, Juan. I see you jumping in. You're going to have to hit the hashtag replay and watch from the top. Thank you again, Joe. I so love when you jump in and help me keep on track. You are like my focus buddy, so I appreciate that. I've got to go jump back over and listen to the end of Lisa's Love Does. It was started out pretty good. Kind of looking forward to some love from Lisa. All right, you guys have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.